Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Code with Santosh. In this chapter we are going to learn about the CSS syntax, how you should write the code for CSS. Okay, so this is our HTML page and this is our CSS file. So we are writing all our CSS related things in style.css file. Okay. So for the time being, you can see that the CSS file is completely empty. Okay, there is nothing here in CSS file. So let me refresh this page. You can see that CSS syntax, this text is just aligned to the left of the browser and in the top of this browser section. Okay. So because there is no CSS applied for this text, so it is showing the default behavior. Okay. So now we are going to write CSS for this two things like this container class, and I will write some CSS for this heading text, h1 text. Okay, let me first write this container class. So whenever you can see that there is the attribute of this div is class. Okay, and this is the attribute and this is the value of this attribute. Okay, so this is class. So always we write class using dot syntax. Okay, so dot means this is a class. So let me paste the class name here. So dot class name. Okay, now this is our selector. This is called our selector. Okay, and this is called the declaration block, this two curly braces. So whatever CSS is required for this class, we will write this into this curly braces. Don't put something outside of this curly braces. It won't reflect on your browser. Suppose if you are writing some CSS property, say width, okay, just outside here, then it won't reflect on the browser because this is outside of these curly braces. So you can also see that when we are using Sublime text and the width is outside of this curly braces, it is in white. So you can identify that I have done some mistake and it should be within this curly braces. So let me put this here. Now you can see the syntax and the color of this property and its value. This is changed. So now it is in correct place. That's why it is not showing as white. Okay. So this is how we write CSS. This is the property, and after property we put colon, and after this colon we define the width. So we have defined the 90%. Okay. So we will discuss about this percent or pixel, whatever we should need to write here. This will be discussed in our upcoming videos. For the time being, I am just trying to tell you that how the syntax looks for a CSS properties. Okay, so this is the property and this is its value. I will write again once another property. So this will be the margin and it will be 0 auto. Okay, and I will also define one more property which is padding. So I will keep just 10 pixel padding. What is the meaning of 10 pixel padding? I will discuss this also in our upcoming videos where we will discuss about the padding, margin, etc. Okay. So this is our selector and we have defined some properties within the curly braces for this class. Okay. Let me save this and also save this. Now one thing I just want you guys to see here, that this CSS syntax is just aligned left on the browser part. Okay, so let me refresh this. One more thing, I have defined these CSS properties into another file, not in this file itself. So we need to use that CSS file into index.html. So for that reason, we have this link relation style sheet and the path of this style sheet file. Okay. So this is how you use CSS file into HTML page. So let me save this once again and refresh this. Now you can see that there is some space on the left side and on the top as well. Okay. So this is just coming from here. This 90% width tells that the width will be 90% of our browser window. Okay. So this is 90%. Let me put one more property here so that you can see that properly. Background, I will make it green. Let me set this. Now you can see that this background starts from here and ends to right section of this browser. So this total area is 90% of our viewport of our browser width. Okay. So that's why this 90% is working here. And I have kept margin 0 auto. It means that it will be in the middle of our browser. Okay. So this is how you can write CSS for your class. And another thing we have here, H1, which is heading, and its ID is heading. Okay, let me copy and paste it here. So here it is heading. Please watch this carefully, otherwise it will be difficult for you to understand where we are using dot, where we are using hash, etc. So we are using hash here because this is ID, not class. So for class we are using dot here, and for ID we are using hash. Okay, if I remove hash and use a dot here, then it won't detect that we have some properties for this ID, because ID always there will be ID name after this hash. Okay, so here I will write something, say font size to 50 pixel, and I will make the color red. Okay, let me save this. Now you can see that now this font size is 50 pixel and the color of this font is red. So it is coming from this thing. If I remove this and put dot here, then it won't work, because it is not able to identify that there is any ID which is ID's name is heading. It is not able, the browser is not able to identify that in the CSS file. Okay, so that's why we need to write hash here. One more thing I just want to mention here, because you can see that for div we have container. So you can also specify div here, but this is totally based on your practice, how you normally write the HTML code. But normally if you like want to add some extra identifier, like this container is only applicable to div, not to any other element. Here we are saying that this heading will be only applicable to like all those elements where we are using heading as ID. But if I use H1 here, it means, let me try to go to editor here, and I will just copy and paste it. I am H3 and I will change this to H3. Now here the ID is same for these two items, but here we are using H1 and here we are using H3. Okay, So h1, because we have kept h1 and then id, then name of the id, it won't reflect that to this h3 tag. These properties are not applied to this h3 tag because we have added another identifier which tells that this should be only applicable to h1 heading. Okay, wherever there is id as heading in h1 tag, there only these properties will be applied. Okay, so if I remove this, now wherever we use heading as id, this property will get applied. Okay, so let me save this and run this. You can see now both these text h1 and h3 are having the same properties which we here defined. Okay, so this is how you write css. Okay, so this let me remove this div here as well. Now you can use this container in any other section, in any other HTML tag as well. Like there is, suppose there is UL, you want to use this container, then you can define this container class in UL and all these properties will get applied to that UL. Okay. And one more thing I just want to add here. So we are using external CSS here. So I have already talked about this thing in our previous videos of HTML playlist, where this whenever you can write the CSS here as well using style. Okay, so if I write font size to 30 pixel and color to black, sorry, color, it will be black. Let me add a semicolon here as well, and put this here. Okay, now you can see that now this we have used the id for both these items here in css file, but now these properties are not applied to this heading because we are overwriting an inline css. Okay, so always whatever you define using inline css, it will override the properties defined in style css. Okay, so font size and color we are defining here, and we are also overwriting that font size and color here, so it is using this font size and color. This is known as inline css because we are just using css along with our HTML tag. Okay, and there is another way of writing css in a page itself, which is called internal css. So let me write that style, and now I will again write some properties here, say heading. This is our selector, and we will put here hash as well, and here I will change the font size to 100 pixel. Okay, let me refresh. Now you can see that all these because we are defining this heading in page itself, now it is using the color from here, but we are overwriting the css property for font size in internally in this HTML page. So this has impact, or this font size is overwriting this font size, and now we can see that all our text are in 100 pixel. Okay, but it is not like if I change color as well here, say white. Now you can see that we have again overwriting the color properties as well. So it is not using any of these properties, and it is using these properties which are defined in your HTML itself. So this method is called as internal CSS. Here we had defined that this is called as inline CSS, and this is called as external CSS. So suppose if you are going for interview, this question might be asked from you regarding what is internal CSS, what is inline CSS, and what is external CSS. So you can answer this properly. Okay. So this is about the basic CSS syntax. That's all for this video. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. It will give me a huge motivation to create such videos. I will again meet you in our next chapter. Bye bye.